How logical Christian men can kill their anxiety around women forever. Now, anxiety sabotages men's relationships. And in my experience, it seems to affect logical men worse than it does others. Whether you're on a first date, whether you've just first met a woman, or whether you're 3 months deep into a relationship, anxiety can cause men to disconnect and decrease the intimacy that they've built up over time. So how can we kill that anxiety forever? Well, I'm going to reveal an exact framework you can follow in today's video. The first step to killing your anxiety around women forever is to understand why you suffer from that anxiety in the first place. You first have to identify the cause for you. And there are 100 different causes for men to suffer from anxiety around women. Now, the most common one that I've found in my experience of coaching over 140 single men with their dating problems is that they put too much emphasis on what women think of them. Now, all men care what women think of them to some degree. Masculinity is defined by our relationship with women. One of the reasons men who are not succeeding with women suffer from low self-esteem is because of that. But I found that logical men tend to overemphasize what women think about them. And this causes them to feel anxiety and overthink and disconnect from conversations. They end up thinking, because they care so much of what she thinks, how is she going to respond if I say this? When she responds a certain way, what does that really mean? And they get lost in these loops in their head where they just constantly go round and round in circles and they disconnect from the conversation. But there can be many other reasons why men suffer from anxiety around women. It can be a bad breakup, which causes pain, which they then cause to associate anxiety with situations that are similar to that when they get romantically involved with women. It can be a high school heartbreak, again, which causes similar patterns that ripple throughout their life. Or it can even be the fact that they've had no experience with women, and that causes a lack of comfort, and they don't have kind of data points to draw from when they're with women to think, okay, I kind of know what's happening here, so I don't feel too nervous. What you must do is to identify your reasons for suffering from anxiety, because without identifying those reasons, you cannot then overcome them. And now step 2 is how we begin to actually put into practice the changes which will kill your anxiety around women forever. Step 2 to killing your anxiety around women forever is to strategically overcome the moments of anxiety. Now, when you're talking to a woman and you feel anxious, what's happening is you're actually retreating into a subconscious pattern of behavior which disrupts the connection. Now, this is what I call an emotional blockage. Basically, anxiety is an emotion, and because it's a negative emotion, you want to retreat from that emotion because it makes you feel uncomfortable. And you retreat into a comfortable pattern of behavior because it makes you feel better. Now, the problem is what's making you feel uncomfortable is the connection that you're building, and what makes you feel comfortable is to destroy that connection. So in those moments, you need to know how to strategically overcome it so that you do not destroy the connection and can then build it and relax in a different way. And I'm going to give you an example of exactly how to do that right now. Now, to illustrate how you can actually overcome these moments of anxiety, I want to tell you the story of one of my former clients, James. Now, James is not his real name, but he was a 26-year-old Christian software engineer who suffered a moderate background level of anxiety just as he went through his day-to-day life. But this was particularly pronounced when he was around women. Now, when James came to me, he was getting first dates quite regularly, but he'd never been able to transition one of those first dates into a second since his last breakup. What was happening is that he was suffering from an emotional blockage due to his nervousness, and he was severing connections on these dates. So we taught him my system, How to Communicate Like a King, which gave him an actionable step-by-step framework for understanding what was going on in these situations and how he could actively overcome those moments of anxiety. What this led to was that he managed to get multiple dates with multiple women for the first time since his breakup. One of these women he went on 5 dates with, and he was the one who eventually decided not to go any further because there was a bit of a value misalignment there. But that shows you the power of being able to overcome these moments of anxiety and to understand that your anxiety around women is something that you can kill and you can overcome so that you can find a relationship. Because for James, a relationship became a matter of when, not if. And he couldn't have done that if he was not able to kill his anxiety around women. And it was so effective, in fact, that he wrote that even his moderate kind of background level of anxiety completely melted away as a result of this system. Now, the final thing I want to talk about when it comes to killing your anxiety around women forever is to not beat yourself up for feeling anxious. We can't help how we feel. Sometimes we feel anxious, sometimes we feel happy, sometimes we feel sad. We have no control over the emotions we feel, only how we respond to them. And the fact that you feel anxiety around women to some degree just shows that you care. Shows you're attracted to her, and it shows that you want to make it work. So instead of beating yourself up for it, instead learn to leverage these emotions, overcome them so that you can build genuine and intimate emotional connections with single Christian women so you can find a relationship. And if you want more actionable steps for how to do that, how you can meet and identify single Christian women, how you can build emotional connections and escalate into a committed relationship which leads to marriage, don't forget to get access to my free training, A Christian Man's Dating Roadmap. I'll put the link in the description box below. So that is how you can kill anxiety around women forever. Until next time, guys, I'll just say, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.